They're calling it a cross-division clash, but this one's more than that. It's the best team in the NL East hosting the fifth-place Orioles, and on paper, it looks like a mismatch. But Vegas didn't move the total for fireworks. They're daring us to believe this stays low. So let's take it apart. Baltimore sends Cade Povich to the mound. He's 2-5 on the year, with a 5.15 ERA and a 1.48 WHIP across 64.2 innings. Not exactly dominant. His walk rate's high, his command shaky, and he's allowed 22 free passes. But he also has 68 strikeouts. And when his control holds, he can get outs in bunches. The real danger? He's volatile. Great one inning, shell-shocked the next. Across the diamond, it's Jesus Luzardo for Philadelphia. He's been stronger, 9.5 with a 4.31 ERA and a WHIP of 1.21. In 47 innings, he struck out 51 and walked only 13. This is a pitcher who knows how to stay ahead in the count. Luzardo's control is the stabilizer here, and with Philadelphia's defense ranked third in the majors, he doesn't need to be perfect. He just needs to pitch to contact and let the gloves work. Offensively, the Orioles average 4.4 runs per game, tied for 13th in MLB. They've hit 137 home runs but also struck out 936 times, one of the worst totals in baseball. Their slugging's decent, but their OBP is middle of the pack. They can hurt you, but they can also disappear for innings at a time. The Phillies, slightly better across the board. They're putting up 4.7 runs per game, with a 254 batting average and a 326 OBP. They don't strike out as much, and they've stolen 94 bases, adding pressure on opposing pitchers. But here's the catch. They're consistent, not explosive, and that's the story of this total. Two starters with different profiles, one erratic, one composed, but both backed by bullpens that know how to manage innings. The Phillies relievers have a 3.82 team ERA. The Orioles' pen is shakier but serviceable. And in Citizens Bank Park, runs don't come easy unless the arms collapse. And today's AI pick is under 9 total runs. Will we cash or will we burn? Next game. Abaddon steps to the plate.
Two teams clawing for postseason position meet at Citi Field tonight, but they couldn't be more different. Cleveland brings low-contact chaos and a bullpen with bite. The Mets bring name power and a pitching staff that knows how to end innings. But the number's not about who wins. It's about how few runs it takes to do it. Let's start with Cleveland's Slade Cecconi. He's 5-4 with a 3.77 ERA across 76.1 innings. Not flashy, but effective. His WHIP sits at 1.21, and he's walked just 21 all year. In his last start, he held Colorado to 3 runs across 7 innings. And while his career ERA is inflated, the 2025 version of Cecconi has been tight. He doesn't dominate, he restricts. Soft contact, stranded runners, and zero panic in high-leverage innings. Now cross the diamond. Sean Manaea is back, and the early results are sharp. Just 17.1 innings pitched this season, but he's posting a 2.08 ERA and a microscopic 0.87 WHIP. 22 strikeouts, 4 walks. That's elite control. And more important, he's already got history with Cleveland. 3-1 all-time, with a 2.94 ERA and 6 appearances. These bats don't see him well, and they rarely square him up. Offensively, Cleveland continues to scuffle. They're putting up 3.9 runs per game, 26th in the league, and they're dead last in batting average at .228. If not for Jose Ramirez, they'd barely exist in the box score. On the other side, the Mets hit a little better, averaging 4.4 runs a game. But they're not a power surge. They're a patient, surgical team. Against Cecconi's sequencing, expect fewer fireworks. The bullpens? Close. Cleveland's pen ranks third in holds and has a save rate over 68%. The Mets, not far behind. Both teams play well in the late innings. The difference is going to be defensive execution, and in tight run games, fielding doesn't show up in the box score, but it matters. Vegas set this total at 8. It hasn't moved. That's the tell. They're daring the public to chase Mets offense and Guardians mistakes. But our models see a different shape, one where every run is a knife fight. And today's AI pick is under 8 total runs. Will we cash or will we burn? Sapphira takes the next one. Let's keep going.
The Bronx Bombers head to Arlington with bruises, but not broken. After slipping in the standings and dropping a series to the Marlins, the Yankees find themselves in must-stabilize mode. Across the field, Texas is clinging to postseason hopes with a puncher's chance. But this matchup isn't about hope. It's about arms, and the Yankees brought the better one. Max Fried takes the mound for New York. He's been nothing short of elite this season. 12 wins, a 2.62 ERA, and a microscopic 1.03 WHIP across 134 innings. His strikeout-to-walk ratio is almost 4-1, and he's held opposing lineups under control all year. Fried doesn't just eat innings, he silences bats. In his last start, he gave up 2 runs over 6.2 innings in a win against Tampa. The man is rhythm, precision, cold control. Opposite him is Patrick Corbin. He's having a better year than most expected, 6-7 with a 3.78 ERA. But the metrics tell the truth. His whip is higher at 1.27, and he's vulnerable to the long ball, something you don't want when facing the team with the most home runs in Major League Baseball. Corbin's given up more damage in fewer innings than Fried, and if he falls behind in the count, the Yankees' bats will punish him. Offensively, even without Judge, the Yankees still rank first in slugging, home runs, and runs per game. Giancarlo Stanton is heating up. Cody Bellinger has quietly become a stabilizing force, batting .279 with 20 home runs. This is a team that can strike fast, even if they haven't lately. The Rangers? They're scrappy but limited. They average just 4.1 runs per game and rank near the bottom in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging. 3 players are tied for the team lead with 15 home runs. None are hitting above .270 with consistency. Against Fried, that's a problem. And while Texas leads the league in fielding, they can't catch what isn't hit. Corbin's done well lately, but tonight he faces pressure from both ends. His own lineup's inconsistency and the best power offense in baseball. Fried's floor is too high, and New York's ceiling too dangerous. And today's AI pick is Yankees money line. Will we cash, or will we burn? Rocco's waiting for the 4th one. Let's move.
This isn't just a mismatch. It's a mile-high bloodletting waiting to happen. The best hitting team in the league just landed in Denver to face the worst pitching staff in baseball. Toronto versus Colorado. First place meets last place. And it's not just the records, it's what happens when contact meets chaos. Eric Lauer takes the mound for the Jays. He's 6-2 with a 2.68 ERA and a ridiculous 0.95 WHIP. 75 strikeouts, just 17 walks. He's given up 2 runs or fewer in 5 straight starts. He attacks early, finishes late, and shuts down momentum before it begins. He's not pitching to contact, he's erasing it. And then there's Tanner Gordon. He's not ready for this. His ERA sits at 4.85, but that doesn't tell the full story. In his last start, he gave up 6 earned runs in 3 innings. He's only thrown 26 innings this year and already walked 8. That's not thin ice, that's open water. Now let's talk bats. The Blue Jays lead the league in batting average. They're first in OBP, 6th in slugging. They don't just score, they string together hits like they're playing t-ball. They average 4.7 runs per game, and they do it with balance, not streaks. Guerrero, Schneider, Bichette. This isn't a lineup, it's a sentence. Colorado? The Rockies are 30-81. They're dead last in runs allowed. Their bullpen has a 6.86 ERA since the All-Star break and a whip over 1.70. At Coors Field, where bad pitching gets worse, they've given up 10 or more runs 6 times in the last 3 weeks. That's not bad luck. That's a system failure. The only case for the Rockies is offense. They've been hot lately. But that heat came against the Pirates and Guardians, not a lefty with Lauer's command, and not with a bullpen behind him that, while shaky lately, won't even be needed if Lauer goes 7. This isn't a question of who wins. It's a question of how far apart the final score lands. And today's AI pick is Blue Jays, 1.5 on the run line. Will we cash or will we burn? Angel steps in to close the drop. Final game, let's finish it.
Some nights you ride momentum. Other nights you ride the mismatch. Tonight, the Dodgers are both. Los Angeles welcomes St. Louis to Chavez Ravine with a first-place offense, a dominant arm, and a lineup that punishes mistakes. They're not trying to win, they're trying to separate. And Tyler Glasnow is the blade. Let's start with him. Glasnow enters this matchup with a 3.38 ERA, a 1.15 whip, and nearly 50 strikeouts in just 40 innings pitched. He's only made a handful of starts this year, but the swing and miss stuff is electric. 7 hits per 9 innings, elite command, and a 3.34 strikeout to walk ratio across his career. At Dodger Stadium, against a Cardinals team hovering at 500, this is his game to control. Across the mound is Sonny Gray. His record strong, 10 wins, but his ERA is north of 4.30, and the Dodgers aren't a lineup that forgives mistakes. They lead Major League Baseball in runs per game, second in home runs, third in slugging. This isn't contact hitting, it's constant pressure. And once you get past Gray, St. Louis brings in a bullpen that's allowed nearly 32% of inherited runners to score. That's a bad mix against the most explosive offense in the National League. And here's the thing. Los Angeles doesn't need a breakout night. They just need 6 strong from Glasnow and 1 big inning. With Mookie Betts back in rhythm and Freddie Freeman heating up, 1 mistake turns into 3 runs fast. The Dodgers have won 6 of their last 10, and they're quietly peaking while other contenders slide. As for St. Louis, they're middle of the pack in every offensive category. 14th in runs, 21st in slugging, 23rd in home runs. They don't chase games well, and if Gray gets hit early, they're playing catch-up with limited power. That's not a formula for covering the spread. That's a formula for collapse. And today's AI pick is Dodgers 1.5 on the run line. Will we cash or will we burn? Lilith's waiting with the recap, and she's bringing the fire in 2 languages. Let's finish what we started.
They thought they understood the algorithm. They thought they were betting baseball. But they weren't betting baseball. They were betting against the pale hand. Let's walk through the fire. Game 1. Orioles versus Phillies. Krista whispered restraint. 2 flawed lineups, 1 number to trust. AI pick, under 9, final, under. Cold math wins again. Game 2. Guardians versus Mets. Abaddon doesn't flinch. 2 arms, 1 graveyard. AI pick, under 8. They swung, they missed. We didn't. Game 3. Yankees versus Rangers. Safira stood firm. Max Fried against the void. AI pick, Yankees money line. Cash it. Velocity beat volatility. Game 4. Blue Jays versus Rockies. Anna smiled. This was a feast, not a game. AI pick, Blue Jays, 1.5. They didn't just win, they ended it early. Game 5, Cardinals versus Dodgers. Angels stepped in last. This wasn't prophecy, it was inevitability. AI pick, Dodgers, 1.5. Covered, crushed, consecrated. En español, para los que apuestan con sangre y no con esperanza. Juego 1, Orioles contra Phillies. Krista dijo bajo 9, y el juego obedeció. Ganamos. Juego 2, Guardians contra Mets. Abaddon gritó bajo 8, fue muerte lenta. Ganamos. Juego 3, Yankees contra Rangers. Zafira eligió Yankees línea de dinero. Fried cerró la puerta. Ganamos. Juego 4, Blue Jays contra Rockies. Ana fue cruel. Blue Jays -1.5. Un baño de fuego en Denver. Ganamos. Juego 5, Cardinals contra Dodgers. Angel cerró la noche con Dodgers -1.5. Y los Dodgers lo hicieron fácil. Ganamos. Like, subscribe. Will we cash or will we burn? Wenn du lange in einen Abgrund blickst, blickt der Abgrund auch in dich hinein. If you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. Friedrich Nietzsche. See you tomorrow.